Spoilers. What's going on, y'all? Brother Doug here with the Suicide Squad review. Now, before I get on with what I liked and disliked and little Easter eggs here and there, I just want to go off and tell people definitely this movie was entertaining. And I'm not one of those people that's going to go out there and say, oh, the critics are paid off and all that stuff. But I mean, it is kind of very suspicious. You know, you do kind of scratch your head a little bit and raise a few eyebrows, like, huh? They gave Iron Man 3 and Avengers 2 like A pluses and B minuses and whatnot. But we all know how those movies turned out. However, it seems like they quickly, anything that's labeled DC, they quickly bashed. And when I watch the movies, they're pretty entertaining. Granted, some people are still on the fence about BVS. You know, I liked it personally. But if you watch the Ultimate Cut, I love it even more. You know, the Ultimate Cut definitely definitely fills in some of those plot holes. One thing about me is, you know, I don't pay no mind to the critics. You know, they're pretty much irrelevant to me. So I was reading one critic, I want to say the LA Times or maybe San Francisco Chronicle. I don't know, somebody, you know, not to discredit those newspapers, those organizations or whatnot, but I remember one critic that I read said something about he didn't like Margot Robbie, not just playing Harley, just in general, like he hates Australian actresses and like, bro, that's pretty, you know, prejudice. Like, now I know a lot of people want me to bash David Ayer for saying he has every right to his opinion. You know, there's this fanboy war going on. You know, Marvel versus DC. Personally, for me, Brother Doug, Christopher Douglas, I love both companies, Marvel and DC. When it comes to comics, you know, I'm more so Marvel. But right now, I've been reading, you know, a few DC Rebirth comics like Justice League and Wonder Woman, both awesome. But yeah, as far as movies go, you know, definitely Marvel's in the lead. But I'm still one of those people in the small handful of people that are still rooting for DC. You know, I want them to succeed. And now that they got Jeff Johns as the Kevin Feige to DC Entertainment or DC Films, I think they're headed in the right direction. And the best way to describe this movie is like the Transformers for the DC universe. I say that a better example, like going to a theme park when you turn your brain off and you just have fun. That's how I felt watching this movie. You know, I just had to turn my brain off and just have fun. I know people are very relaxed in story, but you know, definitely, I love story. I love characters. This movie had characters, and it had a little bit story. You know, story was all over the place. Not that it didn't have story. It was just, you know, it was scattered. You know, like different a few flaws and a lot of plot holes, but I still had fun. Damn good fun, y'all. So as indicated in the beginning of this video, this is a spoiler-filled video. So without further ado, let's get started. So what I loved, Harleen Quinzel, aka Harley Quinn, played by Margot Robbie. Now Margot Robbie is fine, man. I just had to get that out the way. So anyways, I definitely thought she stole the show. Like I understand that she's gonna have a solo film. I actually can't wait for that. Like, man, one of my favorite scenes from her that had me just straight dying, that had my stomach in knots, that I really just couldn't stop laughing for like 5 minutes, was when she was pretending she was dead after the Joker came to save her in the helicopter, and she jumped on the rope and she started doing all that kind of acrobatic stuff, and then Deadshot had to shoot her, and he shot, but then she was pretending like she was dead, and then she woke up. Before you get the wrong idea about me, I am not for woman abuse. But another fair part was when Batman jumped in the water to go, you know, detain Joker and Harley. When another moment where she pretended like she was dead, and then she woke up out the water and she sliced Batman with like a piece of glass from the windshield, and then. Oh god. Oh shoot. Okay. Oh, I'm sorry. And then Batman punched her. I mean. But another cool part about that was that she actually, during a flashback, got to wear the original Harley costume that we know and love from the comics and cartoons. So that was a nice homage. Prior to this movie, David Ayer was saying that, you know, most people in Bel Rev are put there because of, you know, Arkham Asylum and Bel Rev, or, you know, detained because of Batman. And I was thinking, well, Captain Boomerang's there. I thought he's Flash's villain. Lo and behold, guess who's there? I know everybody started cheering in the audience, even me, myself included. Hey, Flash! And a few other characters I liked. I like Deadshot. You know, I'm a big Will Smith fan. I like Diablo. I like characters that can bend fire. I love Zuko from Last Airbender, and I love characters that can just manipulate fire and whatnot. But I felt like he was wasted in this movie. Like I'll detail that more in the dislikes. Killer Croc was actually pretty cool. My favorite part from him was at the end when Viola Davis was asking them what they wanted, little demands that they had, requests. He was like, "I want BET." And y'all know how I am about stereotypes in films, but I ain't gonna lie, I laughed. I can't. I'm not gonna be a hypocrite. I did laugh at that part. That was pretty hilarious, and the fact that he's played by a black dude. So, I mean, whatever. Speaking of Viola Davis, she was part of my favorite scene as well. At the end, during that scene, when they were doing the request, they since they had their detonator bombs inside them, the nanites or whatever, I guess deactivated for a little bit since Rick Flag's device broke. They were all going to skedaddle, go to little separate places. Like Deadshot was going to go back to Gotham City, as well as Harley, and they were all about to go their separate ways and whatnot. And then Viola came, like, where y'all going? Now here comes the harsh reality, the dislikes. Granted, I love the Joker. I'm pretty sure Joker is everybody's favorite comic book villain, or just villain, period. But he was definitely underutilized in this movie. But then again, I guess it's a good thing that he wasn't used that much in this movie, because we could maybe see him again in another DC movie, Batman perhaps, or maybe what's the name of the Legion of Doom or something. Y'all, this is the DC version of Loki. You know how Marvel has Loki, DC has Joker. So I guess it's kind of a win-win in a little bit. Well, depends on how you look at it, but at least we still have Jared Leto and we still have Joker. Put it like that. For some reason, though, I know about Joker. Joker, he loves Harley, but he doesn't really love her like that. He was kissing. I don't ever think I remember seeing him kiss. He uses Harley more so like a pawn. Like he's like she's a tool. He doesn't really love her like that, but I guess that's something where I could see some people's complaints who are hardcore DC fans. But even myself, since I know more about Batman mythology now, since I'm really enraged in the comics like that. But I don't know. But it was just sort of out of character for Joker. Slipknot. Now, granted, I know that he dies in the comics in the first issues or so. But he was definitely underutilized in this movie. He was there for 2-3 minutes, and then mind blown, literally. But since we're on the subject of underutilized and missed opportunities with characters, let's go back to Diablo. I like him. I know that he dies in both the New 52 and the original Suicide Squad comics, but I felt like they could have done more with him, because he didn't die until I want to say the 3rd volume or 4th volume of the New 52 ones. But yeah, he was a pretty dope character. He had a family and a wife, and he wants to repent because he accidentally killed them. But it was pretty cool for him to turn into a little fire monster to fight Incubus, Enchantress's brother, who I'm going to get to right now. I mean, the main thing about Enchantress, a lot of people saying, not just critics, fans as well, that they didn't really like her as a villain. I mean, to me, y'all, I guess I would fall in the category with you guys, but to an extent, she was okay. I mean, she wasn't terrible, but she wasn't on par with Joker or any of the other DC villains like Lex Luthor or somebody. But I mean, she had her little moments and whatnot. And wasn't Common supposed to have a big role to play out the tattoo man? The dude that can have tattoos, basically make tattoo minions. He'll have say he has a tattoo of a dragon. The dragon will come out his arm and do his dirty work. Kind of like Pokemon or playing Final Fantasy when you summon somebody. Now back to Incubus, Enchantress's brother. Now, isn't it weird that guns couldn't take out Incubus, but katana's katana and a bomb could? I find that weird. Aren't those man-made weapons? And little man-made bullets couldn't take out a dude? Huh? A little demigod? Speaking of katana, I wish they would have done more with her. She was pretty dope. I'm always a sucker for people who use, the katanas and, samurai gear or ninja gear, whatever have you. Also, at the end, that scene where Enchantress is showing Deadshot, Diablo, Harley, and Rick Flag, all the possibilities that could have been, showing them, stuff that they desire. That kind of reminded me of Gurren Lagann, where at the end the villain was showing them little possibilities that'll happen if they just left him alone. Just little visions and whatnot. I was like, hey, so David Ayer must be an anime fan, because I definitely saw that Android 1718 connection as well as that Gurren Lagann connection. So hats off to that dude. So overall, I give this movie 4 out of 5. I mean, I told y'all, definitely had some flaws, none too major. Well, I mean, for some folks, but I definitely had a damn good time. I thought it was fun, and I definitely love the after credit scene where Bruce Wayne. So apparently, it looks like everybody in the government know who Bruce Wayne is. Well, I wouldn't say everybody. Well, Amanda Waller, depending on how she is in DCEU, her stature really. I mean, she knows some government hi hats and whatnot, but Lex Luthor kind of knew who Batman was. He hinted at that, and now Amanda Waller knows that Bruce Wayne is Batman. I think it's kind of weird though that for somebody just like Spider-Man, he's very cautious about his identity, and so is Bruce, but. I don't know. Alright, so Suicide Squad. Did y'all see the movie? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like the video, share the video, subscribe, follow me on Facebook and Twitter. Tell me what you liked about the movie, what you disliked about it. And like always, deuces.